This is our International Baccalaureate Theory of Knowledge presentation by Hailey Buck and Genna Hewett-Abbott.
This is Kim Davis.
Our real-life situation that we chose for this project was Kim Davis. Kim Davis was a Kentucky county clerk. When gay marriage was legalized in America, Kim refused to give out marriage licenses to gay couples that wanted to get married. She was later arrested for not performing her duty as a government official that she needed to hand out marriage licenses.
Appeal stays has been denied.
Right. Injunction is the order that you're supposed to issue marriage licenses.
And we're not issuing marriage
The Supreme
licenses today.
Court denied your stay.
We are not issuing marriage licenses today. So
Based on what?
I would ask you all to.
Why are you not
go ahead
issuing
and
marriage
do-
licenses today?
Because
Under
Why?
whose authority are you not issuing
under
licenses?
God's authority.
I don't
Did
believe
God
in
tell
your
you
God.
to do this? Did God
I
tell
don't
you
believe
to
in your
treat
God.
us?
I don't
like
believe in your
this?
I've
God.
asked you all to leave. You are interrupting my
You can call the police if you want us to leave. You can call the police.
I pay your salary. I pay your salary. I pay you to discriminate against me right now. That's what I'm paying for. That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying for this memory with my partner that I love, that I've been with for 17 years. What's the longest you've been with someone, that you've been married to someone?
I'm asking you to leave.
I'm not leaving.
Okay, you all
I'm asking
just
you- I'm
push
not
back
leaving.
away. You all are more looking to stay. Just
I
push
can't
back
help
away
this,
from
the
the
president.
counter.
No.
Just push back
We're
away
not
from the
leaving until we
counter.
have a license. We're not leaving
Then
until
you're
we
going
have
to
a
have a
license.
long day.
Well,
Today.
call the police. When they come, I will ask them to arrest you.
Do your job.
Call the police. Call the police. I will have them arrest you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
This video shows Kim Davis at her place of work at the Kentucky County Clerk's office denying a same-sex couple their marriage license. This is the situation that we've used as our real-life example for this project. After Kim Davis was arrested for refusing to sign same-sex marriage licenses, the United States public was split over her arrest. In this picture, you can see the two different sides debating over if her arrest was justified or not.
Some, especially in the South, hailed her as a hero fighting against an unjust law. In the picture, you can see a man with a poster that reads, "Free Kim Davis," and proverbs from the Bible, which she used to support her ban on same-sex marriage.
Others in the United States condemned her for not following the law. Many, including the woman and the people in the picture here, saw her denial of signing same-sex marriage licenses going against the Supreme Court's decision, as they also quoted Martin Luther King Jr. saying that a right delayed is a right denied, in this case for same-sex couples.
This got us thinking. Some thought Kim Davis was a hero. Is there any case where breaking a law is okay to do? Is following your own morals okay even when it's against the law?
This brought us to our knowledge question. To what extent should it be necessary for people to follow laws that they deem unjust? We decided some terms needed to be defined to fully evaluate this question.
The first term that we decided to define was people. Which people we were talking about when we're thinking they need to follow the law. The people in question are every person residing in a given country. All these people are required to follow the law, and so we will be dealing with all of them.
We defined unjust as not based on or not behaving in a way that is morally fair.
We defined necessary as required to be done.
We defined breaking the law as not complying with every aspect of the law. But what consists of disobeying the law? Is there a difference between actively fighting against something and just simply not complying with it?
Relating it back to our real-life example with Kim Davis, Kim Davis did not adhere to every aspect of her government job, such as giving marriage licenses to gay couples. Therefore, she was arrested for breaking the law.
We've decided that there is no difference between actively fighting against the law and simply disobeying the law. Both of these actions show an individual's or a group's disagreement with the declared law.
We came to this conclusion after much discussion, because whether an illegal action is peaceful or violent, it still breaks the law. Therefore, it should not be done.
Kim Davis broke the law because of her own personal moral beliefs. She broke the beliefs against same-sex marriage.
She used her personally decided morals instead of the people-decided ethics, and therefore she was arrested for it. This relates to the idea of personal versus shared knowledge in the area of ethics.
According to the philosopher Thomas Hobbes, people desiring to live in a group must give up certain rights for protection. Some of these rights include freedom of speech and or carrying a gun or choosing their own consequences for people that they see have acted against them. This is called a social contract.
Ethics can either be decided by popular vote or elected representatives. In the case of Kim Davis, we have elected representatives in the government that were sent to the Supreme Court to try the case.
Morals, however, are personal decisions and beliefs that are influenced by emotion, memory, intuition, and faith.
Although ethics and morals are similar, there are many differences between them. Ethics are decided by a group of people with similar values, while morals are personally decided by every person inside that group. Ethics is a form of shared knowledge, while morals is a form of individual knowledge that only the person can know. Ethics can be seen in the form of laws decided by the group, while morals can be seen in individual actions taken by each person that may coincide with the ethics decided on.
This brought us to a follow-up knowledge question. Should people follow the group's ethics or their own morals? Does an individual have one obligation towards one or the other?
When people disobey the laws set and accepted by the community, there can be both positive and negative consequences on the individual and or the community as a whole.
For example, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. protested against the unfair laws against minorities, specifically African Americans, in the United States in the 1960s.
His protest led to the repeal and change of many laws, resulting in equal rights for all races in the United States.
Martin Luther King wrote about unjust laws in many of his famous speeches. One quote says, "An unjust law is a code that is out of harmony with the moral law. To put in the terms of St. Thomas Aquinas, an unjust law is a human law that is not rooted in eternal and natural law." Martin Luther King here defines an unjust law as one that does not represent the human race as a whole and does not treat all humans equally.
During Martin Luther King's protests for equal rights, he was arrested many times for civil disobedience and breaking other laws. His morals were against the United States' decided ethics, yet his morals were eventually vindicated and accepted by the U.S. public over time and helped change public opinion that still lasts in the United States today.
Another example is the Westboro Baptist Church. This church from Kansas is well known in America for its incredibly conservative points of view and protests at public events. There is an example of a protest at a public event here. You can see this woman holding signs with offensive and outrageous comments that reflect the Westboro Baptist Church's opinions.
This group's protests against community's ethics because they are against the Westboro Baptist Church's morals. They use fear and hatred to spread their message of hate. As you can see, they spout offensive phrases using their religion as justification.
Several members of the Westboro Baptist Church have been arrested at their protests for trespassing and disorderly conduct. These morals have not been accepted by society and have not become a part of the United States ethics.
Another example we have selected was slavery, and specifically the Underground Railroad led by Harriet Tubman. When slavery was legal in the early 1800s, many abolitionist families and households in slave states would help the slaves escape to the northern free states illegally through the Underground Railroad. In the bottom corner, you can see a picture of Harriet Tubman, the leader of the Underground Railroad, who helped many slaves escape following her own morals.
Harriet Tubman led the Underground Railroad, and she, along with many other leaders, broke the law to help these slaves escape. The laws that these leaders broke allowed for slavery and horrific treatment of African Americans. These leaders broke the law to follow their own moral code, which they broke these laws that they deemed as unjust. Many of these leaders thought that by breaking the law, they were saving the lives of many, and in most cases, they were.
Harriet Tubman and other members of the Underground Railroad are now thought of as heroes because of their illegal actions. This is because the ethics of the United States has changed along with their moral code, and because of their actions, because of their moral code. They assisted in the changing of ethics in the United States.
There have been many laws changed by moral disagreements. Throughout the United States history and throughout world history, there have been many laws that have been changed by public opinion, led by an individual's morals. These disagreements and eventual changes have influenced the public's ethics over time.
For example, Martin Luther King broke the law to fight for rights for African Americans based on his own moral code, which led to the changing of others' moral codes, and therefore the United States ethics as a whole. Therefore, in certain circumstances, breaking the law can have positive consequences, such as gaining more rights for more people, regarding the public ethics and the treatment of the people in that country.
There are certain ways of knowing that influence personal morals and ethics and how they affect one's decisions. For example, different emotions influence thoughts, decisions, and actions, and as an effect, influence an individual's moral code. For example, if someone is angry at a situation, they will work to prevent a repetition of that event. Consequently, if someone is happy, they will work to repeat that event.
For example, when I was pulled over for a ticket for speeding, I felt bad and I did not feel the need to break the law again. That was my moral code. However, my cousin got arrested for chaining herself to a rare tree and felt that she was making a difference and was eager to act against the law again for events she was passionate about. In this way, we have emotions influence our moral code.
Memories also influence thoughts and opinions and therefore affect our moral code. For example, my friend who was attacked by a pit bull in our community has worked for a ban on pit bulls in our area. However, my other friend who had a peaceful pit bull as a child and has many fond memories of this pit bull is working actively against this ban. Both are acting according to their moral beliefs, and both believe that they are both correct.
Intuition is another way we can form our own moral codes. Some people act according to their instincts. These people will act instinctually to stop an unethical event from occurring. But there are other types of people who will instinctually avoid confrontation despite the event's unethical nature.
For example, when Bernie Sanders was arrested when he was younger while protesting segregation, he acted instinctively against what he deemed as immoral and unjust. He took part in the protest despite his knowledge that his actions were illegal and would most likely lead to his arrest. Also, A friend of mine who hates confrontation has confessed that she has ignored incidents of bullying despite her instincts telling her that it is morally wrong. Both of these people use their intuition to see that some events are unethical or unjust, but whether or not they take action depends on the person.
Faith is another way many people form their moral code. Faith and religious beliefs affect many people's morals. Some people base their opinions, morals, and actions off of their interpretations of faith. Many have different religions influencing them, and that can cause different actions to be taken. Faith can also affect a group's ethics if they all have similar beliefs regarding the religion.
Kim Davis, the Westboro Baptist Church, and Martin Luther King all used their faith to form their morals, which led them to break the law. Kim Davis and the Westboro Baptist Church faith led to morals that deny the rights of others, while Martin Luther King's faith led him to seek rights for everyone. All three of these examples are sects of the Christian religion. However, because of the various religions around the world, there are different interpretations regarding each person's individual perception of their religion.
There are circumstances where the ethics of a community or of a group contradict the morals of an individual inside the group. This causes conflicts and can lead to the breaking of laws that have been set according to the contradictory ethics because the individual knows they must adhere to their own moral code before the ethical code.
The majority of the time, however, people's individual moral code coincides with the group's ethical code. This occurs because the individual ethics code is formed by the individual moral code. Most people in the community have their say in the forming of the ethics, which means that almost every person, if not every person involved in the community, should get their say in the decision of the ethics set forth by the community. Communities often form by similar beliefs and values of the people inside.
When individuals break laws they see as unjust, they are ruled by their own moral code. This can have varying results in different circumstances, such as Kim Davis or Martin Luther King.
In some cases, laws can be changed to benefit most, if not all, people involved. In other cases, more individuals can be hurt by the breaking of laws than those who benefit from breaking the law. In even other cases, more individuals are hurt by the set law than by the actual breaking of the law.
In conclusion, people can follow their own moral code as long as no one is harmed by their actions. We came to this conclusion because most of the time the moral code complies with the ethical code. Only in certain circumstances will it disagree with them.
Martin Luther King also wrote about breaking unjust laws while imprisoned for breaking the law. This is in one of his famous letters from Birmingham jail. I submit that an individual who breaks a law that conscience tells him is unjust and willingly accepts the penalty by staying in jail to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice is in reality expressing the very highest respect for the law. Martin Luther King Jr. says here that he believes those who break unjust laws are showing respect for the law by not trying to disobey their leaders, but by trying to fix the law to represent the community as a whole.
This finally brings us back to our real-life examples with Kim Davis. Kim Davis followed her own moral code and broke the law, but she hurt the couples that she refused service to. This is a big problem in the United States. She harmed them by denying their relationship and putting any joint property they have at risk. Many same-sex couples who are not married face legal hardships because they are not legally recognized as married.
However, Martin Luther King Jr. broke the law to follow his own moral code, yet he saved countless lives and eventually changed laws and public opinion. Therefore, he changed the ethics of the United States. His illegal actions helped infinitely more people rather than if he had just complied with the unjust laws. Thank you for watching.